Hello again there, my fellow freedom builders, and welcome back to the channel. The video today is a little breaking news video because I had actually planned for another content today. I have 3 US stocks that I would like to go through, but that will be tomorrow instead. So you can look forward to that. Today we're going to address the fact that Warren Buffett has been selling everything in the airline business, and I'll get a bit back to why and so forth, but that is breaking news because he has been buying up for several billion. I think it is $7-8 billion he has been buying these airline stocks for, and he thought he got a good deal there with good dividends and a growing business, but it turned out he was wrong. That is not just something that I am saying. That is actually what he's saying himself. He just had his annual meeting for the shareholders where he's telling about the state of the company, and people can ask him questions. And this is from Zero Hedge. They are saying, brace for a Monday massacre. Buffett liquidates all airline holdings as Berkshire sees another leg down. And as I hear it, it is not just a leg down in the airline business, it is actually a leg down in the overall business. Now, I know that Warren Buffett is not always right. I analyzed the Kraft Heinz stock deal a while back where I thought he went a bit wrong, and at least the technical analysis part of it showed that it was in a clear downtrend. But people are listening to him, and right now the overall market is kind of on an edge, and we have to decide what way we are going. So first of all, let's just see here. About a month ago, Warren Buffett made a move where he sold off some of his airline stocks, and that's also described in this article. He sold off some of them. And that was due to the fact that in the United States, if you own more than 10% of a company, of the stocks in a company, you have to declare every time you buy and sell stuff because you are a major shareholder. So he was selling so that he got just under the 10%. And I heard several analysts say that that was probably because he was planning a larger purchase so that he would buy a lot more, but he didn't want it to be out in the open until I think it's 3 months after, something like that, they need to do it. I'm not completely into the US stock rules, but it is something like that. But what he did was the complete opposite. He got under the 10% radar, and then he simply liquidated everything. Now, why did he do that? Well, he's telling us about it because he says here, when we bought the airlines, we were getting an attractive amount for our money when investing across the airlines. All right, so that's what he's saying here, that they were actually thinking that they were getting a good deal. But what he's also saying here is the airline business, and I may be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's changed in a very major way. The future is much less clear to me. All right, so what he's actually saying here is pretty much the same as I have been saying for a while. Not that I'm more clever than Warren Buffett, not at all. But what I have been saying for a while is that this illness that has been spreading from China and all over the world and has pretty much influenced all of our lives, it's going to disrupt a number of industries. And what I have been saying is that you should be very, very careful with what you're buying, because some of the industries, some of the sectors that we have been thinking were absolutely untouchable, they were just good old solid companies that were producing dividends every single year, well, they might not be as solid anymore. Because no one can predict when something like this is happening. And this illness spreading all over the world has been hitting airlines, hotels, holiday resorts, you name it. Every time a group of people is together in some sort of holiday park or resort or something like that, this business is hit. And the airline business, of course, they're hit because people don't like, even though it might be allowed again soon, they don't want to be sitting close to other people. You don't know who is sick and so on. That's the one part of it. And then the other part is that people are often flying to one of these resorts, holidays, so on and so forth. And they're also closing down, or at least they are hit by this illness and all the restrictions coming with it. So the airlines, the entire business has been completely disrupted. And for the United States Airlines, we might be seeing some bailouts. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some bailouts there, meaning that they are also taking on a lot more debt. And that is what Warren Buffett is addressing. He says that the business case has simply been disrupted, so they got rid of it all. Actually, a little nugget here that you might want to consider is that what he's saying is that they never trim their position. They are either buying or they're selling it all. So what he was doing a month ago by getting under the 10% radar was actually a very, very clear sign that something big was going on. So they are not just trimming their position, they are selling. So next time you see Warren Buffett selling a little part of a business to get under the 10% radar, you might want to think twice about buying stocks in these companies. But let's just have a quick look at these companies. I just picked 3 of them here because I have my technical analysis approach. And I know that Warren Buffett's approach is completely different, and it should be, because he has a size today, Warren Buffett, where he cannot go in and out of stocks as I can. I'm sitting with my own small portfolio, and I can pretty easily move in and out of stocks, even mid-cap or the larger small-cap stocks. I can easily move in and out of them without dumping the price. But if Warren Buffett is buying $10 billion worth of some stock, he's actually moving the price. That, of course, is why he wanted to get under the 10% radar, because he didn't want to make everybody sell just as he was trying to sell. So he wanted to sell without anybody noticing, and I must admit he succeeded. At least I haven't seen any articles about Warren Buffett completely dumping the stocks here in the last month. So that said, Warren Buffett is keeping a lot of cash right now. I think he's sitting on something like $137 billion. That's a billion with a B. And there's one reason he's doing that, and that is because he's expecting more downturn in the market. And Warren Buffett is the guy known for buying cheap, and I think he's waiting for a big hit in the market. That might come, I don't know. He doesn't know. He might know a bit more than I am. I am definitely a part of what you call the dumb money. Not that we are all dumb, but simply we are not as well informed. There's no doubt that Warren Buffett is very well informed, and when he's keeping a stack of money, like $140 billion almost, then he has a plan. He has an idea. It's not just something that he decides to do on a whim. He simply has a plan. He has a clear vision on what he should use that money on if the market tanks again. But let's just have a quick look at the stocks here. I took the Delta Airlines, and as you know, my method is not secret in any way. It's actually quite simple. We're taking the weekly chart, and we have the RSI here. If you don't know what the RSI is, it's described everywhere on the internet. But that is a 14 period, meaning a 14-week RSI I'm using here. And when that is above 50, I think we are in an uptrend. And when it is below 50, we are in a downtrend. All of this is also described in my videos about Learn My Strategy. Then we have the CRS indicator down here, and that gray line is showing if the stock is doing better or worse than the overall market. And when this one is dropping, it means that the stock is not just dropping, it is dropping faster than the market. So I just put a couple of red arrows in here, and that's where I got my first sell signals. I got my first sell signal here around 55, just-ish. And that was in September 19. So at that point, I would definitely not have been buying that. I might have been triggered into the airline business here, but I am also looking, when I'm buying stocks, I'm also looking if there is a history of large tops, not just one top, but several tops in this area then I want this, and this is not just something I'm coming up with right now. All of you that has been listening to me for the last 10 years, you know exactly what I'm going to say now. I want this area to be broken. I want a retracement, and then I want to buy in around here. So I never get in at the bottom, but I also never, pretty much never, get these drops down. So if I hadn't gotten out here, I would definitely have gotten out here around 46, which is pretty much exactly where Warren Buffett got in. It was not at this date here, but it was somewhere down here. I think he got in around 44, 45 maybe. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I would definitely have been out from the stocks here, from Delta Airlines, around 50 and never taken the entire trip down to a 50% haircut here. And that is one of the, as I see it, one of the strengths with my method. That is, well, the disadvantage is I never try to guess the bottom. I never try to guess the top. What I am doing is that I'm finding trends that are running, and then I'm jumping on. And when the trend starts to slow down, I get out. And of course, I take a loss once in a while. If I had gotten in somewhere here, I would have taken a loss of, I don't know, 10 or 12%. But I would never take a loss of 50% unless I own a stock that gaps down with 50%. That has never happened so far. So I am having my stop losses. I am having my stops via my indicators and via my normal stop losses defined by ATR. So I am very well insured here. That was one of them, and the sell signals came pretty recently. But let's have a look at one of the others, American Airlines here. The sell signal here came way earlier, and just remember, we're not looking at fundamentals here. I'm not trying to be clever and saying I could see it in the numbers. What I could see, however, is that this huge multi-billion dollar company all of a sudden got unattractive for the market. And when you can see that this one is giving a sell signal, it means that over several weeks, this stock has been underperforming the market and has started a downtrend. And when that happens in a multi-billion dollar company, and it starts to slip, or on the other way, if around here maybe, it started to go up and we could be in some sort of an uptrend. If a stock can be in an uptrend or a downtrend on a weekly chart, a company of this size, it means that there are some big players trying to buy or to sell the stock. And here we got the sell signal here in April 18. So that's pretty much 2 years ago. Those that bought American Airline Group for 2 years ago, in the belief that it was a good value, maybe paying some dividends, what do I know? Well, they would have been having their money sitting dead for 2 years now, and in the process, not just sitting dead, but actually lost 76% of their money. So the stock never got close to giving me a buy signal in this time. So I missed out on a drop of 76% over 2 years. And in these 2 years, I've been making some pretty good performance on my money. So instead of having a stock just going down and losing me money, I'm actually having my money in other stocks that are outperforming the market. That is the way I like to invest. All right, I have a single one here, United Airlines. Also one that it has been in an uptrend, and we could easily have gotten in somewhere around here or here, I don't know, and we might have taken a little loss. But we got our definite sell signal when the stock went into red zone and in our trend strategy here. So I would have gotten out around 75. And some of you might be thinking that that's just something I say and that looks good in a video. But I have a lot of paid subscribers, and they are chatting with me day to day. And if there is something I do, it is I respect my rules and my strategy. So no matter if I think the market is dropping 90%, if I'm starting to get buy signals, I'm buying the stocks. I never let my opinion about where a stock or a market should go from here. I never let that opinion maybe be more than 2% of my entire a strategy or considerations about a stock. I might be having 5 buy candidates, but if I think the market is dropping heavily, I might only buy 2 or 3 of the candidates. So it might affect a little bit, but if I'm in a stock and I get my sell signal, I am almost religiously following it. And here I would have gotten out around 75, and I would simply have been sitting looking at a drop for the other shareholders of 65% in just a couple of months. Now, did I know that this crisis was coming? Did I know that this illness was spreading? And well, I had a feeling about it, and I was actually telling my subscribers about it, but no one in the world could have told what was going to happen with the market. So when I would have sold here, and just to be clear, I didn't own the airline stocks, but if I had sold here, I would have had no idea whatsoever if the stock was going straight up from here or straight down. But I do have statistics from my many years in the market saying that stocks that drops, they tend to keep dropping, at least for a while. If they're dropping and underperforming the market, well, then they tend to keep dropping. And that is what happens here. So my prediction is that in the week that comes, we will see a very red market for the airline stocks. Now, the question is, because what we have been seeing in the overall market, let's just take the S&P 500 here. As you know, it has been dropping like a rock, then it has been going straight up, and then here, for the last couple of weeks, we have actually started to see a bit of weakness in the uptrend. So I don't know what is going to happen, but we might see a leg more down, as Warren Buffett is talking about. And we also see that the Fed, they have taken the foot a bit off the speeder in the car. They are not buying quite as much anymore. They are only, quote unquote, buying something like $83 billion worth of debt now per week. Not per month, but per week. So that might be one of the reasons why the market has been going a bit sideways. Now, a million different investors, they are looking at Warren Buffett and they want to do as he does and they want to be as wealthy as him, and they are never going to be that. But I have an idea that a lot of investors will be very nervous. They have been nervous now for a couple of weeks to maybe thinking that the market might turn down. But now they are seeing their guru, Warren Buffett, saying, I'm expecting a leg more down in the market and I'm selling all my airline stocks. And I am pretty certain that that will trigger some selling in the market. I have no idea if it'll just be a little blip on the radar and then we are going to go up, or if this will trigger a fire sale. But I am ready. I have a few stocks in my Danish and my Swedish portfolio, and I am ready to pull the trigger if I can see that the market is really tanking quickly. So I'll be ready Monday morning, and I am quite excited, and that might be the wrong word because of course it's not a good thing, but I kind of look forward to see how this will span out in the market, because there is such there's a ton of psychology in the market right now, and all the feelings, the FOMO, the fear of missing out is there, and the fear of losing the gains you've already made, and so on and so forth. So it is that the next week here, I think, will really be a defining moment for the next month or two in the market. That's just my prediction. As I said, I have no idea where the market is going. This is just my assessment, my analysis in my head where I think this could be going. I hope that was pretty clear. And if you have any questions, just write them below. If you haven't done already and you like what you are hearing and seeing here, please consider to hit the subscribe button and like the video. That would help me, that would help YouTube to know that you want to see more of these kinds of videos and so on. So hit the buttons down there and take care of yourself and your money out there. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.